Hello, hello, hello. Good evening. Why is Felicia
Hello?
frozen? There we go. I was like, why are you frozen already? It
The
hadn't
intro
even
was still
started.
playing on my side,
Oh
and I
my
was
god.
like, "Oh."
Great.
I want to warn
Oh,
everyone, "Hey, we're both having problems
I'm
with
not
our
having
internet.
problems with the internet. I
So,
was having problems with the
this
TV and the
shall
Roku. There
be."
was a difference.
I think it's still the internet. I think it's still the internet. The internet is after us. The internet is
The internet
after
is
us, I
transphobic.
promise. I promise. But welcome back to your Wednesday night conversation. This is live with Fifi and Freddie. I'm Felicia Fifi Minor, and over there, out of an 80s
My
movie
punk
that
rock
got
era.
straight to VHS release,
Wow.
um,
uh,
is Freddie
mm,
Prince
I
Charming.
mean, I can't really argue with
Mhm.
that. It's fine. Uh,
Straight. These days, it would be straight to the
right,
streaming
right.
service.
It was a made for TV movie that just went straight to video.
Uh, Guilty pleasure. Um, I have a guilty pleasure for Lifetime movies now that they have their own
Oh
channel.
God, I cannot. I have okay. So
It's almost like your trash
Ye
TV addiction.
so you would think that you
This is
would
my
think that
trash
because, like,
TV
I do
addiction.
watch a lot of, like, trash TV that I would totally be into, like, the Lifetime movies or the Hallmark movies or whatever. I can't I
Just the
can't
horrible
do it. I've
acting.
tried. And I'm just like, "Oh my god, what the fuck is this?" And now there's, like, all the like, if you go on, like, Netflix or whatever, like, during the holidays, there's all, like, the straight to streaming, like, holiday
Yeah.
movies, and I'm like and Deal watch that shit all day long, like, during the holidays. Oh my god, every time I walk out of the room, there's some god awful fucking holiday movie on that has the worst acting, has the wor I'm like, "Oh."
And then it's always a
Mhm,
woman that's always falling for some guy that came in
mhm,
from out
yep,
of town and is gonna
right.
change her life.
But then
And
there's
so we
but then
know
there's
what
the
to
friend.
expect.
There's
We
the
know what's gonna
friend that's, like,
happen.
always been there, and she falls in love with, like,
Yeah.
the guy from the big city who's, like, flashy and whatever, and then realizes at the very end that what she wanted was her friend who's always been there. "Merry Christmas! All I wanted was you. It's all I've ever needed." Ah.
Yes. D, that is what makes it so good. A, I know what to expect, and B, I still catch myself crying over them. The Lifetime ones, always. "Run, girl, run. Why did you decide to go? You knew the red
My
flags were
favorite are, like,
there."
the horror movies that are, like, on, like, either the Hallmark Channel or, like,
Yes.
Lifetime, and they're like, "The clock struck murder," and I'm like, "Oh, wow. Someone got paid for this." I'm like, "Ooh,
Somebody had to green
yeah."
light it. Just think about it. Somebody had to green light it to fund it.
Oh, it's
So,
terrifying. Truly terrifying.
you're welcome. Hello, Laura. Uh, let us get back
It's
into it.
always a
Um,
surprise. No, it's
I got
not a
sidetracked
surprise.
because we were talking about straight
It's
to
never a surprise, ever. No,
sometimes it
no, never.
is.
Not once has it ever been a surprise. Never.
I have spoiler alert, the gay ones are
Yes,
just
they
as
no, they
horrible,
are. They
if
are.
not
But it's,
worse,
it's good to see the
if not worse.
representation in really shitty movies too. Representation matters.
Today on this episode, we will not be talking the whole episode about horrible
Maybe we
Lifetime
will, you
movies
don't
and
know.
Hallmark. Um, maybe, but what we're going through in life is worse than the Lifetime
Just
movies.
as bad
Um,
acting.
y I just wanna know, why was Kid Rock in the White House
Uh,
this week?
because whoever usually sucks Trump dick is, on vacation, so they had to bring in a ringer.
Hi, DJ Image. I am not ignoring you. It's been busy around here, as we talk about Lifetime movies. Uh, we're finally gonna talk about this week how to do a wedding in
We
4
are,
days.
yes, we are, and I think that's
Um
actually I think that's actually a good tip because it can apply to things that aren't just weddings. Like it can apply to other events,
Oh, how to do a drag show in 4 days.
circumcisions, funerals, whatever,
Ooh,
bar mitzvahs.
ooh. Not on your own, not
You,
on
I
your
would.
own, not on your own. We do not recommend any mm-mm,
I mean, your kink is not my kink.
mm-mm. Let's talk about tariffs and, like, is the free world falling
No,
down?
there is no free world.
Mm, mm,
The free
mm,
world is
mm,
gone.
mm.
Dead.
Also, Freddie got a new mic, and I think he's a little bit
It's got
obsessed.
colors. Look,
So you don't have to
I
show
had to show
everyone.
everyone.
We
You're
believe you.
welcome.
So we have a lot to talk about. Um, I don't have a question. I don't have a question this week. My question would be for this week, all wrong answers.
No,
All wrong
no, no.
answers for this one. Why was Kid Rock
At the White House.
in the White House? In the Oval Office, nonetheless.
Oh, yeah.
I'll go first. He was there to sing America the Beautiful. Wrong answer.
Mm.
Wrong answer. I'm gonna look that up in a minute because I can't remember right now why
I
he
know why
really
he
was
was
in there
there.
and
I
holding
know
an
why he was
executive
there.
order.
It's because Trump has decided
I
that
don't remember.
ticket scalping is very important. So must now sign an executive order to stop high prices on ticket sales for concerts.
Isn't there like is there a limit to like executive orders? Is it like a
I
credit?
I don't know. Maybe he'll run
Like
out of
what
paper or run out
is
of
there a way to
ink or something. I feel
like who's supplying the pens? Can we get them to stop manufacturing the pens and sending
I
them
just want
to
to
him?
know who the fuck is
It's
doing
like
yes, this
he
is super
signs.
important for the country right now. But, it's a good thing d because of the economy and the way that the economy is
We'll get
headed,
into
it's
it.
probably a good idea because
We'll
nobody's gonna
get
be able to
into it later.
afford to go to concerts anymore.
Anyway, what you can afford is the VIP treatment. You can you can support us on Patreon because we too need to buy eggs
I have
and
teenagers.
things.
I have no food.
Uh,
Please send us money.
that is the true story. And I have 3 kids at home, so my fridge is always empty. Uh, so if you join us with a closer look, which is the $5 uh, membership, you get a sticker after 3 months. I know that sounds like not a lot, but you would be the only like few that have this. And then um as of right now anyway, because I have not printed additional stickers that I know of. Um if you join the deeper plunge or the G spot, you get a sticker, a mug, a t-shirt, and a tote bag.
Ooh. Swag.
And you know what's even better is you don't have to wait for me to
This is a
send
true
it
story.
because
This is a true
I be
story.
forgetting. The last time we had a great idea, and I said, "Ooh, I'll ship them out." It wasn't good. It wasn't good. And then I'm a over taper. I don't want none
I
of your
still
stuff to
I
come out,
I still have the I
including when
still
you
have
get
the
it.
video that I made during the pandemic when I got my own swag and basically had to blow the shit up to be able to get to it.
Yeah, so you're welcome. We'd like to thank our patrons, Brandon, Cassandra, Chris and Michelle, D, Drake Jensen, and Michael, Casey Starr, Carrie and Corey, Joan, Laura, Leanne, Madam Askew and the Grand Arbiter, who just had a birthday, Madam Askew,
Yes, she did.
Nicole, Patricia Mason, Shannon,
And I do
and
know who William is
William.
now. I don't know him as William, I
Ugh.
know him as Bill. He's in the steampunk community, and he an author and things like
Oh, now you know.
that. So I do know who it's fantastic gentleman. I know him as William, so that would be what confused me.
Oh,
That's
okay.
why. Yeah,
Should I change it to Bill?
probably. Because otherwise I'm like, who the fuck is William? So sorry, Bill. That's my bad. That is my bad. 39 cents a day and you can feed our children. Bitch, please. I wish. For the cost of a
You
cup
might
of
want to
coffee.
move that decimal. Move that
Right.
decimal.
Over a couple. Just
Yeah.
right.
$39 a day.
Seriously. My God. In
Mhm.
this
And
economy.
that's pushing it. That's pushing it. Mhm. And we wanna give a special shout out to Wigs of a Kind. That brush on Freddie's
This is
head
not a
is
wigs of a
not
kind.
yours.
I've had a couple people ask. This is not a wigs of a kind wig. I look, there are benefits to not having any hair, and the benefits are that I can literally just stick shit to my head. This is
Uh-huh.
it's a motorcycle helmet accessory from Amazon. It's one of those things, like, it has a second piece. It's like Velcro. So you put like the Velcro down on your motorcycle helmet, and then you put this on top of it, and then like you look cool when you're driving your motorcycle. I don't have a motorcycle. I just have a bald head. So if I get a fan, maybe it'll look like I have a motorcycle. Just but I don't have a motorcycle.
Oh
So
my god.
instead
Oh my
instead of
god.
sticking it on a helmet, I stick it on my head. You're welcome.
As the kids say, cringe.
Whatever. Wow. Wow. Wow.
Uh, Marissa hasn't logged on yet, so I think we're safe for now.
We'll see. And then she'll be like, "What the fuck is that on
Is
your
that
head?" I'll be like, "I'm sorry. I don't have a mohawk from Marissa that matches this outfit, so I don't know what to tell you." My bad.
oof. Anyway, if you want to support the show, send us a message. In fact, I will give you my address so that you can send me your debit card.
But we are always looking for like in-kind sponsors. So things like, if you want to get your name for, jewelries or, whatever things out there.
Oh,
Like,
damn.
God damn it.
Francis is in the.
Fuck. We almost got away with it.
Damn it. Francis saw you with that.
Blast those
What is.
dressed kids. We got blasting kids ruining everything all the time. Foiled again. It's fine. But no, like if you have stuff, we will happily show off your stuff on this show. We will talk about your stuff on this show. We've sent lots of customers to Marissa, so it's successful, I will say. What'd you do this weekend, Felicia?
Ooh. Here's. Oh, you already told her? Oh, damn. Oh,
Damn it.
damn.
Shit.
Tell her. Tell her. Never mind.
Yeah, just keep
That's
going.
grown folks' business.
Just keep rolling. Just keep rolling.
So this weekend, we had a show at Changing Hands in Phoenix.
Changing Hands is a
The
bookstore for those of
bookstore.
you that are not
Bookstore.
in the know.
And so, I don't know if you guys know this about me, but sometimes I can be a little late. Or In this case, not late, but forgetful.
Mm.
Let me tell you what happened. I can't believe I did it, and I couldn't believe that it had happened. Um, and so we had the night of trans and non-binary joy at Changing Hands bookstore, and I got my stuff ready. I'm looking at the dress right here, just right here. Um, maybe I should wear it on Saturday, but I
Mm.
don't want to forget it. Um, um, but I put out my stuff. I got ready, how I usually do. But in this case, it was like a one number gig. It was like very lighthearted. I didn't want to bring a whole bunch of stuff. I wanted to bring my makeup, and that was just about it. And because that's what happened, um, I got in the car for the Uber, and I'm like, this is very light for me. Like, I'm dressed, I got my makeup, I even had my shoes in the bag, 2
Oh,
pairs of shoes, because I was like, I always change my mind.
right.
And so then I'm like, this is weird. And as I'm getting closer to Phoenix, I'm like, oh shit. Oh damn. I forgot my dress to perform in. And I'm wearing like street clothes
Oh
basically.
god.
And so like
I
I'm
mean, the
like, I
pants
can't
were cute. I will I
perform
will I will
this.
I will give that to you, but lord.
Yes. But then like I'm wearing the sheer. If you follow me on Facebook or any of the platforms, I post like what I look like before I go. And so I'm just wearing the sheer attire, and I'm all like thinking to myself like, "Oh my god, this is going to be so terrible." And I already have people that like follow me because, you know, God forbid a drag queen read to children. So anything that I do is like scrutinized, and this was like an all age show. So then I'm exposing them.
I know. I get the text
So
like I'm
luckily,
like starting to, I'm almost there and I get a text. I forgot my costumes. I said, "Well, shit."
I thought, oh, damn. Because if I was like down the street, I would have turned around and said like I'm gonna be late because we had like what an
It
hour
was
or
we had a
so
we
that
had a
we were
minute,
sitting there,
yeah.
and so I would have definitely turned around if I wasn't like on the freeway already. Um, And then so luckily, our newly crowned Miss Phoenix Pride had a little get up
So,
in,
let's be
in her
clear.
bag.
Our newly crowned Miss Phoenix Pride basically saved your ass.
Yeah. And she also had nail glue, which I forgot.
Yep.
So thanks for your charity and
Uh,
hooking a girl up. Because I basically showed up at my job without my uniform.
I I mean,
I
luckily
was
it
like,
was only like a
oh,
one number
in
gig and
my
like
20 years almost, I don't think I've ever done that.
I was trying to problem solve. Like I was like, all right, my partner hasn't left the house yet. Like I know we're a couple of like stoned blazers kind of thing. And like you were doing Janelle Monáe. So I'm like, that could work. I'm like, if you want me to have her bring something, I can have her bring something. But luckily we didn't need it. So
Nope, I was ready to perform in my sheer shirt and let the internet eat me up later.
I would have been the first person to do that. I would have been the first
Um,
person to like be like, "Oh my god, listen." I would have posted a
did she
passive aggressive
really?
status and been like all vague booking, been like, "Look, if you're booked for a gig, better come prepared so that everybody else doesn't have to scramble to save your ass."
Mm. I thought she was gonna do it.
I,
I gave her all permission to do so.
I'm like, "Look, if she
Being like, "Don't book
I
that
should
bitch in
have.
your
I
show."
totally should have. I'll do it later. It's
It's not too
I
late.
still got time."
It's not too late. You couldn't have done it yesterday because people would have thought like, "Oh, that's April Fool's."
Right.
But this was not April Fool's,
It
folks.
was a it
I
was a cute
literally
little
a
like it was a cute
costume.
little gig though. I expected like maybe like 50-ish people or so.
Ye
That room was packed. Like, I think
wall
they
to
said there was
wall.
something like 200 people that ended up showing up. Like, it was packed and it was awesome. Like, there were people
Mhm.
there of, all ages. My daughter got to come, which was fun, and I love it when she's able to come to things like that. She doesn't get to. I don't do a lot of all ages stuff a lot, every so often, but
And
it
they
just
are
so
your
happened
biggest
that it was
fans.
on. Oh my god. It just so happened that it was the weekend that they were here and she wasn't doing anything. So I'm like, hey, you want to come to this drag show? It's queer things. And
Mhm.
so apparently she was standing there with my partner, and she was like, I guess she was trying to find a reason to like tell people that I'm her dad, but it has to come up naturally in conversation.
Mhm.
Because you can't just be like, "That's my dad." Otherwise, it's weird. But apparently, somebody was like behind them saying something about my performance afterwards, and so like they were able to turn around. My partner was like, "Yeah, I married that," and she was like, "Yeah, that's my dad." So, but
Oh, wow.
I know, but it was super
Wow.
cute, and I like I always enjoy doing things like that. It's always a good time, and I managed to score some books in the sale section. Not that I have time to read or anything, because
I was about to
I need to do
say,
that.
but I have the
I
same problem.
I need to like
I have bought at least 3 or 4 books in the last month or so, and what am I doing but
I, I
collecting
know.
them?
I so uh so on
We should
Sunday
start a book club so we have a
we
purpose to
should.
read.
Um so Sunday was our we had our first rehearsal for Phoenix Fan Fusion. Um and it was pretty much all the kings because that's how that rolls. But it's going to be super cute. I'm excited about it. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a good time. Um and then it was yesterday? No, day before yesterday. Tuesday, Monday. Monday? What day is today? Monday. Today is Wednesday. So Monday.
Today is Wednesday, we are always here on Wednesday.
Thank you, thank you. So Monday, my
Mhm.
partner and I bit the bullet and joined the gym up the street because I am 46. I have put on some poundage. I would like to take said poundage off at some point. Um, so as much as I hate the gym, because I do, I fucking hate
And
the
you're
gym.
you're not gonna be paying the gym's rent, right?
Right. As much as I hate the fucking gym, I'm actually excited to start going back and at least getting a little bit healthier. What sucks is I'm not going to be able to do as much as I did when I was going to the gym like before the pandemic. Because before the pandemic, I was actually in the gym often. I had a trainer, I was doing stuff. But I'm a little bit more
Mhm.
limited now between the arthritis in my elbow, and what I think is either arthritis or carpal tunnel,
Oh, I forgot about
and
that.
the bulging discs and shit in my back. So it's gonna be a little bit different. I'm gonna have to tweak things a little bit. But the nice thing is that this gym has a pool, and
Mm.
a I used to be a
Mm.
swimmer, like I did. So I'm hoping that maybe I can kind of start getting back into that because it's low impact. Um, but they have like different classes. They've got like Zumba classes and like all sorts of stuff. So I'm excited to kind of
In the
no,
water?
no, no, but regular Zumba classes.
Oh.
But I am excited to kind of get back
Oh.
into it and try to at least be a little bit healthier than I am. Even though I still hate the fucking gym. So, eh. So, yeah, super exciting.
Hmm.
I am falling
Hmm.
apart. I'm sorry. I am, and I'm getting
Um,
old. Like
your
I'm
own
gonna be
real life Pinocchio.
I'm gonna be like 46 this year. I am going to like officially be on like the other side of like I'm gonna be closer to 50 than I am to 40. So I'm gonna have to, you know, but it's fine. My blood work always comes back excellent. So my
Oh,
blood work thinks I'm great. It's the it's the rest of me that's like,
it's the rest of you that's falling apart. Mm.
yeah. I know. It's terrible.
That's exciting. That's exciting. So is it uh-oh, I think I froze.
You didn't freeze.
I didn't
You're still there.
freeze?
No, you're still there.
Oh.
All right. So I promise this was supposed to be last week. But we ended up talking about a whole bunch of shit and catching up on 2 weeks. So I promise this will be like the last time I actually talk about things like the wedding and getting married, because now it's old news and we don't need to talk about it anymore. But this
Who got
was going
married?
to be I I did, I think. I don't know. Um but this was going to be talked about last week, but we pushed it to this week because we talked about other stuff last week. So um so sorry. My tip this week is going to be basically how to plan a wedding in 4 days, maybe a week. I'll give it a week, a little bit of wiggle room. Um, so just a little kind of a little bit about just sort of my partner and I. We've been together for 5 years, and we've in that 5 years we've talked about sort of hypothetical weddings, like if we were to get married, what would that look like? What would we want? Blah blah blah. And
Mhm.
we knew right off the bat that neither one of us wanted sort of anything crazy extravagant, and we definitely would never want to spend a ridiculous amount of money. Because that's one of my like biggest things with weddings, is that people end up spending so much fucking money on this one thing, and I'm like, that money you could have taken a ridiculous vacation for the amount of money that you just spent on this thing that you're going to be so drunk at that you're not even going to remember. Like,
So somebody I know just got married, and I wanna say that the ticket, and I mean, like, the whole
mm,
receipt, it was, like, about
Jesus
75
Christ.
grand.
We could have paid off both of our cars with that and then had extra, and like, so I I understand that people, want a wedding and blah blah blah. We knew for us that it was not what we wanted. Like, if we're gonna spend that much money, we're gonna
Mhm.
take a fucking trip around the world and fly first class. Like, like there's
Mm.
just other things that are higher on the I want to do this list.
Put money into the
Right. Like, I have
experiences, yeah.
we were watching, like, The Bachelor, and, one chick was talking about how she wanted, like, a $20,000 engagement ring, and I was like, if you came home and handed me a piece of jewelry that was $20,000, I would probably divorce you. Um, like, that $20,000, there's so much that we could do with that money, and to have a piece of
Oh,
jewelry that I would never take outside the house because I'd be so afraid I'd lose it. Like, like, no, no.
yeah.
So
Also, Frances, that is
right,
well enough. She does not need to
right,
rush
seriously.
and jump on here if she's helping a
So,
neighbor.
that being said, when after we got engaged, it was basically my partner was like, "Hey, so we got engaged on Saturday." And my partner was like, "Hey, do you want to get married on Thursday?" Because Thursday was our anniversary. And we didn't really want to like have two different anniversaries. You know what I mean?
I have
So
that, and they're like a month
it was
apart.
like, so it was either get married on Thursday or wait another year and do it next year on the 13th. Um, but I was like, yeah, sure, that's fine. It was like, all right, well, yeah, right. And you know, so we were like, okay, so now that we've decided how to do that, we want to do this, how are we going to do this? And what is this going to look like? So the first thing is you need a venue, right? And you don't have to spend a ton of money on a venue. And mind you, not everybody has the kind of budget where you can spend even $5,000 on a wedding. You know, like times are tight and it can be hard. And I think altogether, I think ours was 1,500 ish. I think is what, which, considering
Really?
it was in 4 days and it was like venue and all the things, like that's fairly budget friendly, you know. So,
Mhm.
depending on
Mhm.
location and weather, you can do something super cute outside, which was our original plan. We were gonna, get like a little gazebo or whatever at
That
like a pretty park for a few hours and do the thing outside. But then we realized that it was supposed to rain the day we wanted to do it. So we were like, no, probably not the best idea to do it outside.
glad you cha
Yeah,
glad
because
you
it was
changed that.
very
That's good.
moist outside. So it was less than 1,500, according to my partner. Less than 1,500. Um, so
Mm.
we looked into small indoor venues. Um, and the venue that we found was one that I had actually performed at, and it was like this little, I don't even know what you would I don't even know what you
It's
would
so
call
cute.
it. It's just like a little space. It's
Like a
just like it's
nook.
just a space. So we were
Mhm.
familiar with it. We kind of knew what the layout was and what it looked like. And we knew that it would work great for what we wanted. It didn't it had places for people to sit, it had tables, it had a little area for us to be able to put out some food, and like, the things that it came with were awesome. It was perfect for what we needed. We had a little
Mhm.
back room, a place to change. Super, um
It was very, not old-timey, but
kind of
very
vintagey. Yeah, it was cozy,
cozy.
kind of vintagey. It was like we didn't need anything
Mhm.
more, we weren't expecting 800 people. Um, so
My
we
god.
were able
I
to
don't even
we
know
booked it
800
for,
people.
I think, 4 hours, which was gonna give us enough time to get there, kinda get things set up, have the ceremony, and then hang out for a couple
I
hours.
feel like we were there longer than
So, we
that.
were supposed to be there at 4:30, but the owner was like, "Hey, it'll be available at 4, so if you wanted to come at 4, you can come, start setting up a little bit early." So that's what
Oh.
I did, is we got there at 4 to start setting up. Um, but even then, we'd only booked it from 4:30 to 8:30 because we figure if we get there at 4:30, set things up, have the ceremony around like 6-ish, and then just hang out for a couple hours and then go home.
We needed that
Yeah.
half hour. We needed
So
that
like
half
it wasn't
hour.
like it was easy. It was like, so venue. Look for something small. There are plenty of places around that will rent, a couple hours here, a couple hours there for relatively inexpensive. Um, Food is the next thing.
I will say that, some of the venues, like the reception halls, especially if you do it
Mhm.
during the week, they may give you, like, a killer
Mhm.
price. Like, I'm talking, like, $50
Yep.
an hour sometimes because they just want you to pay for the
Right.
lights to be
And
turned
I
on,
mean, like, a lot
basically.
of places don't have anything going on during the week because almost everything like that always is on the weekend. So,
Yeah, I would say everything that you look into, if you're planning such a thing, if during the week is
mhm.
always cheaper because they know that they can make
Right.
more money on the weekends because
Right.
everybody's available.
Um, so food, now keep in mind, if you're planning something that is gonna be like a week's notice, catering, things like that is
Catering's
going to
out.
be tricky. So don't be calling people and being like, "I need you to cater this wedding in like 2 days." And then don't be mad when they laugh in your face and hang up. So that's on you. Um,
'Cause it takes, like, 2
right.
days to make
Don't don't
food.
don't don't be that guy. Um, we knew
Mhm.
that that wasn't going to be a thing. Like we didn't need a whole full catering thing anyway. It was going to be small, it was going to be intimate. So we opted for like snacks and cupcakes. um we went to Costco And
Bomb ass
Uh,
cupcakes too.
yeah. Shout out to Urban Cookies, cause man, um, we ordered, like, I think it was, like, 5 dozen or so cupcakes, and we were able to do it within about 48 hours notice. Uh, Urban Cookies nailed that shit. They were so good. So good,
They wanna sponsor
right? I'm
us?
like, "Can we get a
Can they send us a
serious?"
cookie
Right.
every week? Is that
Seriously.
okay?
Um, yeah, shout out to Urban Cookies, cause that shit was good. They have gluten-free options, they have vegan options, um, and
Sorry, I didn't mean to
it's
skip over
fine.
your stuff. Um, but the cupcakes were sweet, but not, like,
Mhm,
overbearing sweet, like, I didn't feel like my
mhm,
teeth were gonna fall out. I felt like I ate a second one, and then I was like, "That's still
mhm.
so good."
Yeah,
Like
I was not mad about the cupcakes. They did a really good job, and they were really good, and everybody seemed really happy with the cupcakes. So, definitely recommend Urban Cookies. They're local, they do a great job, and their prices are pretty damn good. Um, and then for snacks, we went to Costco, and we got,
mm,
like, a variety of, like, cheeses and meats and crackers and things, and we had bottled water, we had a few things to, like, make mimosas and a couple of cocktails. We were like, we'll just bring some stuff, whatever. It's because the space was BYOB. Um, and, we were able to have a couple of awesome friends come in and help us get some things set up and set out the platters, and it was easy. It wasn't, like, nothing crazy, didn't need to be anything crazy. Um, but
mhm.
people enjoyed the food that was there. And, we made it clear that you are not going to get dinner, but you are going, like, there will be snacks and there will be cupcakes and cocktails should you want to imbibe. Um, so we didn't spend that much at Costco when we got stuff. It was like, so that was very budget friendly. Um, we didn't
Mhm.
have a photographer. That's fine.
Sorry,
It's
I was
fine.
busy.
But we encourage folks to take pictures, take video, whatever, and then we had, like, a Google photo album that if folks
I think it was kinda
eh,
better that
I'm
way
like, it
in the situation that
right.
this is. I think it was better because you got so many
Mhm.
different I looked through the album, like, we were all
Right,
sitting
there
in
were
different
different
areas.
angles,
It wasn't
different
like we were
perspectives, different, some people got some over here.
because if we were sitting, like, at
Right, right,
a church or
right.
a venue that made, like, that uniform
Mhm.
seating, then you kinda get the same
Right,
picture
right.
for everything, but this was, like, very different because we were all kind of spread out.
Yeah, and the one thing that we totally forgot, I forgot to bring a tripod because we were gonna set up a video to either stream live or record or whatever, which we didn't, but it's okay. But there were people
Oh.
that had video, so we do have it on video. It just wasn't, like, streamed or whatever like we had originally planned. But you know what? It's fine.
Mm.
Um But yeah, we just encouraged everybody, take your phones out, take video, take pictures, enjoy. We don't care, Um, so one of the big things when you're talking about weddings and things like that is clothes. Wedding dresses, suits,
Mm.
things like that. And that shit can get pricey. Um, if you're looking for something more sort of traditional. But even then, you can find, like, if you're the type of person that wants, like, an actual wedding dress, you could probably find an actual wedding dress on short notice. You'd have to go and shop, like, the clearance racks at David's Bridal or whatever it is. And a lot of times you can find something for a few $100. Um if that's something that you wanted and it's, whatever. My partner did not do that. She actually went to Ross on her lunch break.
Oh,
And,
the same day?
I think it was, like, the day before or something. Yeah,
Oh, okay. I was about to say she
eh,
has the talent.
on her lunch break, went and I got a couple of pictures, like, "Do you like this or do you like this one better?" And I'm like, "I like this one better." "Okay, cool. There you go." Um So if you don't want like a traditional dress, you can go to pretty much any store and find something that speaks to you and is comfortable. You don't have to wear white. You don't have to, wear something floor length. You don't have to wear something that, looks like a wedding dress. You can wear whatever the fuck you want. It's your wedding. Um, right. For suits and things, I got lucky, because I have stuff.
Surprise.
And it wasn't even in Freddie's closet, it was in my closet. And I'm like, I pulled out a couple of different
Mm.
options. I'm like, well, I have this option or I have this option. I understand that most guys don't have that depending on who you are. Um, but you know, yes.
I will say though, um but we've talked about this. You should have a pair
Mhm.
of slacks or something thereof and a
You
blazer on
should.
hand
if
for
you if you are someone that is, if you enjoy the more sort of masculine formal or semi-formal looking clothes, I definitely recommend always having something like that handy, whether it's a suit, whether it's, black slacks and a blazer, something. You should always have
Mhm.
something handy because you never know when you're going to need something like that. But if you
Even I have suit jacket and
um
pants
if
ready.
you are, depending on, I mean, regardless of size, height, weight, whatever, I guarantee you that you can find a decent looking jacket, blazer, something somewhere. I mean, Goodwill all the time has really nice stuff. Literally everything that I was wearing came from Goodwill.
Mhm.
Um, you just have to go look, and it might take a couple of Goodwills. But if you want something, a little bit nicer, you can look at Ross. Ross does, places like that, Marshalls, TJ Maxx, places like that do have blazers. Um, and again, more budget friendly than like, right, than
Inexpensive.
going to like Men's Warehouse, which I hate that
I'm in.
shit so much.
Mhm.
They never, it never
Why?
looks right. They never tailor anything correctly. Um, and it never mm. So you honestly
My first suit for, when I started competing was from Men's Wearhouse.
so there are definitely budget ways to, you can borrow something from somebody. I guarantee you, somebody.
Mm.
Like,
Mhm.
Felicia is just about my size. So, like, honestly, like, Felicia wanted to borrow a suit. I could be like, here, I have a fucking suit. So I'm like, as long as you have a pair of slacks, I got a jacket for you. Um, so it's like there are definitely ways to be able to be dressed and look good and be comfortable and be happy with how you look on a budget for a wedding or something like that. Like you don't have to spend a ton out of pocket for that, for sure. Um
Mhm.
Now I will say that with like brick and mortar stores kind of becoming not the norm anymore, like online shopping is kind of the way to go, and unfortunately that's just kind of is. We did order some things from Amazon because we knew that they would get here in time. I know, shocker. But we knew that like there were some things that we needed that we weren't going to be able to really find, because we work and things. It was like we don't have time to go running around all the places. Um, but we got like super cute little plates, like
Mhm.
champagne flutes, because we didn't want the fucking flutes where you have to like put them all fucking together because oh my god, that shit's awful. So we got stemless
It's annoying.
champagne flutes, which were super handy. Cute little napkins. So we did order a few things that got here, but like I said, it was, as far as budget goes, it was way better than spending thousands upon thousands of dollars and for something that it's like, okay, cool, so we did that, but now we're completely broke and totally in debt and we have really nothing to show for it. um which is like it's so at some point we would like to, go on a honeymoon and things like that, which we'll probably shoot for doing next year or something. I don't know. But that's
I
where we
did
would
recommend
rather.
that you set up a thing.
Yes, and we're working on it. We are working on it. A few people have asked us, do you have a registry? Do you have a honeymoon fund? Whatever. And we keep meaning to set it up, but we keep forgetting. Because it's whatever. I know, but we will set that up.
Get their honeymoon together.
Wow. Oh yeah, and Dee got our rings on Etsy from a seller in the Ukraine, and they're super cute. Um,
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
yeah. So you can find everything
Then again, I
basically
didn't know
for.
until it was actually happening, so
So yeah, but again, I promise when we set up a fucking fund for the honeymoon or whatever, I will post the link for the folks that may want to
we'll have
contribute
to promote
to
it
help
here
us have
on
a
the
fun.
show.
Right. Yeah. And that's the thing. We also don't know where we're going because,
We
like
don't
I
know
have a
where.
passport, but also there's a
Oh,
good chance that if I leave the country, they won't let me back in. So there is that. Um, so, who the fuck knows?
oh, it has to be an
So yeah,
in-country destination?
I would prefer it to not be, but I would prefer to be going somewhere
Ew.
not in the country because this country sucks right now, but it's fine. So yeah, we have to kind of figure that out, and then we can, I guess, put it out there. I don't know. So there you
Hmm.
go. How to plan a wedding in a week or less.
How to plan a wedding.
Right. And, keep it to a
Yeah.
reasonable budget and not going overboard on things and still really cute. Like it was great. Like there was no complaints. It was super cute. We had,
One thing you guys
25,
did not
30-ish people in.
or you did not talk about in here is the flowers. They were not from a
Mm,
florist.
mm-mm.
They were from
No, I think we got them from Fry's.
but they were
Like
still
we got
beautiful,
yeah, we got the flowers from Fry's, and Felicia was nice enough
and
to
arranged
turn
by
them
yours
into
truly.
something. So like you really don't have
This
to
is now the
spend a
second time I've
ton of
done
money on
this.
stuff. This is true. So there you go. There how to plan a wedding in a week or less. Oh, Trader Joe's. I
Oh,
lied. Not Fry's.
excuse
Trader
us,
Joe's.
Trader Joe's. Mm,
They were
I'm so sorry.
organic. Oh, fucking whatever. Organic
Oh god,
flour.
I can hear that in my ear. Ew.
You're welcome.
Uh,
Finger flutters.
uh, oh,
How are we doing that? I don't have nails. I can't do it.
I love watching videos that go.
I can't. I,
Anyway,
um.
we'll have to
Oh
add
my
that to
god.
Patreon. That's $15 for some flour.
Mhm.
Anyway,
Yeah.
just kidding. All right, so we have to move on to the hysteria that is the news. Um, I'm gonna play this video. That gives me time to catch up. The wrong one.
Uh,
My internet does not like the videos for some reason today. Um, am I there? Am I moving? Am I talking?
yes.
Am I struggling mentally, physically? Yes. Um, I just want the world to get its life together because it's looking hotter and hotter, and I mean hot mess, hot mess, hot mess. As we go on through the days, I wonder what the fuck is going on. Because we're not, as DJ Image said earlier, it is just a circus out there. When I read the news, I used to think, this is gonna get better. But no, 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 no. It has gotten way worse. Um, do we have to talk about politics? Um, I can throw some other things in there. We do have some other things. But there are some people that do not pay attention to this stuff and don't believe that it's happening because inside conversation, sometimes I'll say things like, that everything from China is going to be more expensive. And people go, for what? And you go, but the tariffs? You don't know about the tariffs, girl? Okay. Well, so first bit of ridiculousness. Um, Elon Musk sold X, formerly known
No,
as
I'm gonna call it
Twitter.
Twitter. Fuck that. I'm gonna dead name that shit. I'm gonna dead name that shit all fucking day long.
um, Sold it to himself. And I understand how this works, but you really shouldn't be doing it, especially when you're in a place of power. Um, and everybody's struggling in the world while you spend billions of dollars with yourself. Anyway, um, he sold his AI company to himself. So now
No, he sold Twitter to his AI company, which is
that makes
himself.
oh, that's right. Yeah. So figure that out. When you get very confused, come back to me because at first I was. But I was like, oh, I understand. But you should never do that, especially when you're in the light like he is. Speaking of, we're on the way to yet another TikTok ban. Again, with the quotation marks, because this is what, the third time, I think? Second or third time. Um, Trump is working hard to find US investors to buy it by the April 5th deadline. Now, here on the screen, it says that I've never heard of this company. AppLovin
I,
is one of the companies, and Amazon Emerge or something um, is trying to bid on TikTok. Um, so don't understand that. It almost sounds just as
there's a
ridiculous
whole
as
list of people,
the
and they're literally talking to Trump about
Elon.
it. I'm like, why the fuck are you talking to Trump about investing in TikTok? Like
Why is he
that's
involved?
my
We
that's
literally chewed apart Bush and Clinton for having parts of businesses and made them sign it over to
like
their
right. Like
kids and
there's
things.
conflict of
But
interest and shit.
somehow, somehow, this is not working out.
no.
Something's wrong. Something wrong. But speaking of things that are
Ugh.
wrong, you get a tariff and you get a tariff and we all get tariffs. I am just so excited for all of us. Um, Dump Truck decided and announced that there will be at least a 10% tariff on pretty much anything that's an imported good starting on April 9th. So over the weekend, I want you to think this is the price that it historically will be, and it may not come back down after it goes back up. Okay.
The
Um,
uh
we cannot forget that he called this, his words, a declaration of economic independence. Are you feeling economically independent at this
yes,
moment?
absolutely. Uh,
He also called it Liberation Day. Are you feeling liberated by any means? I just checking the pulse. Mm, no? Okay. Um, he has no idea how tariffs work. He also doesn't know. what what is it, a trade deficit
Right.
is. He has no clear understanding of what that is. He doesn't understand it, and he from what I understand, or from what I hear him say, it sounds like he thinks it's like credit, like he's paying down debt, which the man himself still has debt. So, story for another day. Um, but in some areas, the tariffs are higher than others. In places like Vietnam, uh, there was another one that's on the list that I was like, why is he going after them? It was like an island that produces like very little like spices or
Something
something,
like
and
Guam where
he's
there's like nothing. I'm like,
where did that thing go? Anyway, yes. So tomorrow, if you are investing anything, I don't give advisement, but um, it may be a little bit stressful to watch the stock market tomorrow as this uh, starts to go into play, and investors are doing the whole like yanking their money back, especially those that are living on a fixed income. Um, Also, not on the list of these tariffs are, um, yeah, two islands that have no population. Um, Also on this
not
list,
on the
not
list.
on
Yeah.
this list, is North Korea or
Huh.
Russia.
Interesting. Hmm.
So
Hmm. Hmm.
y'all tell me if you never. Because last time I said we need to elect somebody that won't, and then here
Mm.
we are. And then I said, you guys got to be careful with, and here we are.
Mm. Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
so here we go. Um, and this is some bullshit right here. Voters in Wisconsin, um, were offered, was it
1
$1
million.
million?
Yeah. He had 2 checks for $1 million.
So Elon and um, company were trying to bribe voters in Wisconsin, but they didn't fall for that. Um, and they voted for a Democratic state Supreme Court judge, giving. I feel like liberals are the same ones at this point. Giving liberals a state Supreme Court majority. Now, why was this so important? Why was Elon trying to give people money? Why was he trying to get them to get a Republican state Supreme Court judge? Because the madness continues, folks. They just want the craziness to continue. And so the people were like, nah,
I mean, it doesn't make
mm-mm,
things much
thank you
better,
for
but at
trying.
least it's one less kind of
No, but
foothold, you know what I mean? Like, it's
instead of saying like, oh, we just gave up, because I'm sure that's what they keep trying to
right,
get. They're looking for us to say, well, I just give
right.
up.
But also,
No.
literally what Musk was trying to do was fucking illegal. That's voter tampering. You can't fucking do that. But nobody's saying that.
Hmm.
Nobody's calling him out. Nobody's trying to,
Hmm.
pull him back and be like, that's illegal, but
Also, isn't that an immigrant trying to? Never
mm,
mind. Never mind. Because you
mm,
remember, we can't accuse Russia of
no,
that either. So
no, no, there's
let me take my hands
just
off of that before it gets a little dirty. Um, oh, I don't want to read that. Val
Kilmer.
Kilmer. Yeah. Um, Star of Batman. I know him for Top Gun. Uh, that was like my
The
first
first thing I
memory.
remember him in was Willow.
Um, oh, I don't. Mm, I don't not for me.
Were you about to
Definitely
say
bad.
that you've never watched it?
No, I'm just saying, like, not at that. No, that would not have. I was gonna say, did I see that before Top Gun?
No,
No, I didn't.
that's
No, because I'm younger than you, and sometimes I didn't experience things that you already had
wow.
experienced.
I think Top Gun actually
So,
came before Willow, but I watched Willow first.
but I'm saying
Yeah, it's
that I had. Mm. Anyway, he died last night at the age of 65 from pneumonia, which could easily be treated, except he was a Christian Scientologist. And for those that don't really get into that, um, they don't really believe in modern
yeah.
medicines. They think that the body is like it's like a
They
self-healing.
basically like, if you just pray real
uh
hard, then you'll be fine.
yeah, like we've been given everything that we need right here in this vessel, and so like you shouldn't have to go
Right.
outside of that to make sure that you maintain. And
Which is
yeah,
unfortunate. He was, I don't know if folks watch the new Top Gun. I haven't seen it yet. Um,
I haven't seen it
but
yet either.
what's interesting is that a couple years ago, he had to undergo surgery for throat cancer, um, which basically left him unable. Right,
But he did
he
that.
was unable to speak. His entire dialogue in in the new Top Gun was AI generated.
No
He did not
way.
speak a single line in the new Top Gun. It was all done through AI because he literally was unable to speak. So he would say the line, like he was basically lip syncing it the entire time. And the few things in the new
Hmm.
Willow um series that had a very short run and is not getting a second season, which is really fucking annoying. Um there were a couple like parts where like Mad Mardigan came back into it. Those were all done through AI as well because he literally could not speak, which is unfortunate. Um because I don't know if folks understand. Like I think he was an incredibly underrated actor. If you've never seen
Mhm.
it, go watch The Doors, where he plays Jim Morrison. Um, if you've
Mm.
never seen it, go watch it. He's singing. That is
I
him
have not.
singing the entire thing.
Oh,
He
wow.
immersed himself so much into the role that there was basically folks that were in the movie with him were like there was basically no distinction between him and Jim Morrison. And he sang the part so well that folks thought that he was basically lip syncing to The Doors, and he wasn't. He was singing it. Um, he uh,
Wow.
he was notoriously difficult to work with, according to folks like directors, producers, other actors. Um, he drove people
Most
nuts, right? He
creatives
drove people
are.
nuts on set. But he really was. I think he was incredibly underrated. And problem, it wasn't problematic per se. He was just difficult to work with. Um, but yeah, that was interesting. He's one of those that kind of hung around in like a lot of sort of childhood movies and then dropped off, and then throat cancer, and then
Just out of
so
nowhere.
yeah. But I definitely recommend, if you have not watched The Doors, go watch The Doors. He does a brilliant job. He really does. So yeah.
Oh, wow, I didn't know this.
Yep.
He was trained at
Yep, he was
Juilliard?
trained at Juilliard. There were a couple of movie roles in the 90s that um
Got
he
passed up
turned
on?
down because he was doing random shit. And apparently I can't remember, was it after Top Gun? I don't remember. It was after
Oh,
one movie. He like disappeared for like a year because he was like backpacking through Europe or through the jungle or some shit. Like yeah, he was completely he was eccentric. He had some weird little idiosyncrasies, terrible to work with, but a legitimately brilliant actor. Like, he was really
Mm.
good and an incredible singer, like
But I think that's always like the I hate to say it, but the payout for a creative person like that is usually like this
right,
obnoxious behavior.
right,
And then like you're like, hey, can you like sit down and like work on your craft
right.
for a minute so we can get this
Yeah.
all together? Um, because Gabe asked. Other
Mhm.
things. Um, other than I'll read the other one in a minute. But I found it very interesting and enlightening to watch um, bits and pieces of Billboard's Women in
Mm.
Music, where they honored people like Doce, Erica Badu. In fact, if you can Google Erica Badu and her outfit at the she is like one of my favorite people. I love these artists that like just do things that are on their mind, and like she is just overly curvaceous in this outfit, and she knew what she was doing. And um she's just one of those people that just stands out in my mind. If you ever get a chance to see her live, she's one of those people that just kind of surprises you vocally and with like the costumes. She's known for now that big
Mhm.
hat. And so other people were like Beyonce's mom, Tina Knowles, Tyla. And so I as these things like DEI disappear, hold on, I'm getting there. God, I said I have a couple more things. God. We have to you, eh, she trying to replace us? What's going on
Also,
here?
she's
Anyway,
must be dyslexic. How about Cory Booker? I don't know who the fuck Booker Cory is. Sounds like a stripper. Um, or a really bad drag name. Mm.
ooh. Mm, mm. Okay, since you're rushing along, yes. Hold on, let me find the official word because I didn't do my due diligence. Our friend, let's talk about this horrible news right here. Um, it's wonderful news to me. 23 states. How many states do we have? We have 50. I love this. Um, and probably more to follow, are suing dump truck and the administration over the 11 billion. I thought it was bigger than that. $11 billion that was cut from the public health funding. So if you're not aware, um, dump truck cut the funding for programs like, is it Meals on Wheels? Is that the appropriate name for it? Um, there were some other programs that you're like, okay, so we have like built this into our society. We are helping people. Like, what the um and it definitely is showing that he does not have a clue of the things that are helping the people that voted for him. Um because they are in there, as well as others. But yeah. Is my old girl in there? Was it Massachusetts? Massachusetts that was gonna sue him?
Uh,
Do you remember that confrontation? Or was it
I think it might
Maine?
have been Maine, but I honestly I don't
It was one of the M's
remember.
that was like, I'll see you in court. And I was like, oh, she is gangster. Let's keep her. I don't even live there. And I was like, yes, her. All about her. Okay, so what Dia is talking about is that Cory Booker, Senator Cory Booker, um, was on a marathon of a 25-hour speech. I don't know if I could talk that long. Well, we've been on for an hour and it kind of went by. Um, hmm. Records broken. I keep seeing things off and on about like, no, it wasn't a filibuster. Yes, it was a filibuster. I'm not sure. I'm just very impressed that he spoke for that
Apparently, there
long.
were things I'm trying to find. It's hard to find things that are um, sort of non-biased and objective about his speech, which is
Mhm.
unfortunate because I know I saw something on Facebook and I can't find it, but there were certain things. Yes, he talked for 25 hours, but there were some things that he should have talked about that he didn't. Um, and I'm
Uh-oh.
trying to find it. If I find the thing, I will repost it on our page. I'm trying to remember what I saw it briefly today, and I scrolled, like I glanced at it, but didn't read the whole thing, and I should have saved it, and I didn't. But I think there were some human rights issues. There were like things about, the people being illegally detained that like weren't mentioned and weren't talked about. Like there were some things that were key points that should have been talked about that weren't, but I will commend him for doing the thing, and breaking a
Mhm.
record. A a black man breaking a record that was set by a white man who was against the Civil Rights Act is something. Um, but
Mhm.
again, like, okay, you talked for 25 hours.
What
It
was it about?
it didn't really do anything, and I'm kind of done with Democrats talking. I don't want you talking. I want you to do
Mm.
shit. You've been talking, and your talking ain't doing
Mm.
shit. You haven't done it. Like, that's all they're doing
Yes.
is talking. And I mean, honestly, it's the same thing with AOC and Bernie. They're they're having rallies. Great. You're still just talking. I don't care about talking. I want you to do shit. I want you to stand up
Mhm.
and flat out say this is bullshit. I want you to call out the Republicans for being literal fascists. I want you to start bringing lawsuits against the Trump administration. I want you to start doing things because talking ain't doing shit and I'm over it. And now you've just talked for 25 hours and it did what?
Had us talk about it.
Right. But it it didn't do anything. Like, you
I
know what
don't
I mean?
know.
Like I need less talk, more action.
Well, to be fair, we've said this before that it's time for Democrats to get up off the seat because they've sat too long. Um, I want, and uh, and I say this in I I don't want to like insinuate violence in any way, form, or fashion, but I also feel like it's very like
Right.
nice. I'm tired of being nice, and where I feel like we just need to. Oh, that was the other thing. Um, there is potentially, this is not the part that is most important, but the part that's most important is that Mitch
Mhm.
McConnell may go away.
Is he gonna die? Because that would be great.
Especially,
Oh.
no, there's somebody that's like trying to take his
Oh.
seat.
I was like, "'Cause if he gonna be dead, I'd be fine with that."
What's her name? What's her name? What's
I'm
her
like, "Please just
name?
die." That would be easier for me.
Oh, I looked up his name and the first headline says McConnell breaks with party to reject Trump's uh, Canadian
I don't give a
tariffs.
fuck. Dude is flip flops like that all the fucking time, and then goes back and says, "Yes, but yay Trump because we love Trump." Me, 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 me.
Um, so her name is Pamela Stevenson, and she is running for Mitch McConnell's
Hmm.
seat. And so I've seen this a couple times on social media, and it has been sent to me numerous times. Um, the It's great, and I love that. It's Oh, is he retiring? Has he officially said that? Because last time he,
I will believe it when I see it. Like, I'd still
like,
prefer him be
I
dead.
think he should have retired when he did that whole, like, he
He
wasn't
should have
talking
retired
thing.
and then been dead.
Um, so I need, if people are serious about this, to, like, get up and do things for her. And it's kind of a big deal too that he will be replaced by a woman, but not only a woman, but a black woman.
Mm,
And so
they
many
let black
levels
people in
because
Congress
of
now? Well,
Mhm,
damn, look at that shit.
mhm. So, like, I don't know, maybe I need to pull like a Oprah, just start sending candidates that I believe in some money,
Oh, here we go. Becca
across
Baum
the
says
country.
that on February 28th or 20th, his 83rd birthday. 83? He's younger than my father. McConnell announced he would not run for an
Ew.
eighth Senate term. Okay, this is exactly why we need term limits. 8 fucking terms. Bitch, please have several seats. Like, ugh.
Well, speaking of terms, dump truck is threatening
Uh,
for a third
because fuck the
term,
Constitution.
but I think it's a deflection because he does not want any hopefuls to take the spotlight. I got news for you. R- Even the people that voted for you are waiting for a hopeful
Mm,
candidate.
yeah.
Seeing so many videos of this is not what I voted
Oh, so
for.
sorry.
This is not what I experienced the
Don't
first
give a fuck.
time. I'm like, girl, don't you read?
No, they don't like, remember facts. These people don't like facts.
Oh, that's
And they don't like
right.
reading. That's
That's
why
right.
there's no.
That's
Mm-mm.
right. So yeah, um, we had a little mix of pop culture in there. Um, we can do some balancing. I just don't. I try not to get on the pop culture because I feel like you can just read them
Mm, yeah,
anywhere. But if I was going to do anything that's pop culture, I try to do things that are like not spoken about too much on the news or
right.
mentioned at all. Um, but I thought the billboard thing was
Mhm.
pretty awesome.
No, for sure. What gigs do we have coming
Ooh.
up? Oh, Saturday, is the Southwest Love Fest block party, which is going to be super fun. There are tickets that are available to the general public. I posted the event online. Southwest Love Fest is a conference that is designed to educate folks that are either in the poly community or have questions or whatever about the poly community.
But you don't have
No,
to be in the poly
not even
community
a
to
little bit.
come.
And the block party is going to be super fun. There's going to be vendors. There's going to be pop up drag performances. I myself is obviously I'll be there. Felicia will be there. Ben Havoc, Dustin Riot, and Rita Bain. And then DJ Visa
Oh,
V is going to be what do they say? Spinning on the ones and twos. Um,
oh
I know.
my
But
god,
it's gonna be a dance party. It's like a glow party, so you want to bring like all your neon, your glow shit. But it should be a good time. I believe tickets are $20. You can either go to my profile and
that sounds
look
brilliant.
for the link on the event, or go to the Southwest Love Fest website. I think if you Google Southwest Love
They have a
Fest,
website too.
you'll be able to find tickets there. But you should totally come because it's going to be a good time.
They have Love Fest all over the country. So if we have people that are listening or watching, they have them all over the
Mm-hmm.
country, which I
There's like a
found out
Midwest Love
by
Fest.
researching. I was like, "Ooh, Midwest man." Mm. Unless they voted for
Well,
Trump,
there's
then
that. Mm.
move along.
Mm.
Move along. Anyway, what's next? On Sunday, the 6th, I will be at Stacy's for Magic. And then on the 12th, we will be at Shea Cheese for Drag Bingo. This will be our
I
first
know. I'm
time there.
excited. Cheese.
And I cannot forget the bingo set.
Oh yeah, no, put that on your calendar or something. Because if you forget that, you're gonna have to go back and get it. Uh, and then the following week after that, on April 17th, we are back at Gracie's Tax Bar for our sex trivia, which is always a good time. And it's a great way to sort of kick off your weekend. It's a Thursday night, so Friday doesn't fucking matter. So come out on that Thursday, do the thing. It's a good time. So bring your your expertise so that we can make fun of you when you get answers wrong.
Yes. Especially if you are an expert in all the things that are
Right.
sex, but you know
Right.
nothing.
Mm-hmm.
We love those people. We love them.
Mm-hmm.
Also, just added it. I have drag bingo at Drink Me Tea Room on the 24th of April. So you can get tickets for that too. What I have noticed, so we say all these things about our shows, and every week we say these things about our shows, and you guys send us messages or say, like, oh, like, can you send me the link? And I send you the link. And then in like maybe a week, I say or I post online, it's sold out. And then I get a message like, oh girl, I'm like, but wait, there's a timestamp on here that says I sent you this a week ago. So when I send you the link and you seem interested, I assume that at the time that's what never mind. Some of our stuff sells out very quickly. Don't rely on us to have it in
No.
for you because we don't control that stuff.
And our shit, I mean, if it's tickets, our shit sells out. Like our cat bingo sells out. There's only like a handful of tickets, like what, 5, 6 tickets or something like that left for the one at Shea Cheese. So our shit does sell out. So don't say we didn't warn you when you cannot get tickets after we've told you for weeks to get your fucking tickets.
So when I post after this that it's sold out, do not send me a
Right.
message that says, "Oh, can you
No,
save me a seat?"
no, we cannot.
No.
Nope. No, we
Mm-mm.
cannot. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
So, anywho, that's what we got going on.
So
Mark your calendars. Go get the tickets because we said so.
where don't
Don't
send me a
send Felicia a
message and say,
message.
"Oh, it's sold out. It's sold out. Can
No,
you help me?"
we cannot.
Mm-mm. Thank you for the continued support, despite me saying don't send me messages looking for sold out. Don't forget April 5th, there will be a peaceful gathering at the Capitol. I feel like I have not been online and I don't know
I
about
don't know about
this.
this either.
Tell me more.
Or message us or something because we're already over
Yes.
time. So don't tell us more right now.
Thank you for watching live and for those that watch on the replay. Thank you for downloading our episode as a podcast. You can listen on Spotify or your favorite podcast player. And we will see you next week for your Wednesday night conversation.
Good night.
Good night.